So next topic is non-trading concern. So what is the meaning of a non-trading concern? Non-trading, that is non-trading concern is also called as non-profit. That means you are doing a business with an intention of not to earn a profit. That type of organizations will be called as non-trading concern. Here, the main motto or the main objective is not to earn profit. Then what? To render service to its members. So, how can I define non-trading concern? Non-trading concern is an organization in which the organization's main objective is to render service but not to earn a profit. That's what is the definition which can be given for a non-trading concern. What are the examples of a non-trading concern? First, non-trading concern can be formed as a club. A club is called as a non-trading concern. It may be a health club, it may be a sports club. There, you by paying a subscription fees or entrance fees, you can enter into a club. There, you can avail the facilities or benefits provided by the club to you. So, this is a service which the club is offering to the members. And similarly, it may be a society. A society is there. Society of a group of exporters, society of a group of farmers. There, the society will be providing service to its members. So, and similarly, a non-trading concern can also be formed in the way of charitable trust. Charitable trust. And next, similarly, educational institution. And so on. So, these are the few basic examples of the non-trading concern. Okay, educational institution. And what are the sort of financial statements and what are the sort of books which this concern had to prepare? There are basically 3 financial statements which are required to be prepared by the non-trading concern. Of that, first financial statement is nothing but receipts and payments account. Receipts and payments account. So first we will know how to prepare the receipts and payments account. What are the things which have to be considered in the receipts and payments account? This all we will discuss now. Receipts and payments account. So what is the meaning of receipts and payments account? Receipt is nothing but income. I can call this as an income. When I am using the word income, that income includes capital and the same income includes revenue. So here, even capital receipt, I will be crediting, I will be debiting to the receipts and payments account, and also the revenue. So there is no difference between capital and revenue from the receipts and payments account point of view. So whatever the receipt you are getting, whether that is capital or whether that is revenue, that can be debited to the receipts and payments account. Next, coming to the other part, which is nothing but a payment. The same concept applies to the payment as well. What is the meaning of a payment? Any expenditure incurred by the concern or the organization. So this expenditure again may be of either revenue in nature or it may be of capital in nature. So even for the payments also, whatever the payments made by the organization has to be credited to the receipts and payments account. So the same fundamental concept applies for payments as well. By looking at this, you can easily correlate this receipts and payments account with the cash book. In cash book, what you are doing? Cash book also, you are doing the same thing. Debits all sort of incomes. Whether it's a capital income, whether it's a revenue income, you are not bothered, and that will be debited to the cash book. Coming to the credit side, even that is a revenue income or even that is a revenue expenditure or even that is a capital expenditure, you are not bothered, you will be crediting that to the cash book. So for example, you are purchasing a fixed asset. Fixed asset is a capital expenditure. Even though that is a capital expenditure, you will debit to the cash book as buy machinery, buy fixed asset, buy building. So capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, both you will debit to the cash book. You will credit to the cash book. Capital receipt, revenue receipt, both you will debit to the cash book. So the same thing, same fundamental can be applied to receipts and payments account. Now we need to see there are few basic things which we have to keep in mind while preparing receipts and payments account. First fundamental is nothing but that's what we have discussed. Capital and revenue. There is no segregation between capital and revenue. So whatever the receipt you are getting, whatever the payment you are making, in spite of whether it is capital or revenue, that shall be either debited or credited to the receipts and payments account. That's what is the first fundamental which you have to keep in mind while preparing a receipts and payment account. The next thumb rule or next key takeaway for preparing receipts and payments account is nothing but receipt received. Whatever the receipt you are receiving during current financial year must be debited to the receipts and payment account. Similarly, payments made during current financial year must be credited to the receipts and payments account. See what you are doing here, receipts received during the current financial year, payments made during the current financial year must be debited or credited to the receipts and payments account respectively. You are not bothered here to which year the receipt relates to. You are not bothered to which year the payment relates to. If the payment is happening during the current year, even that is you are making payment in advance or you are making payment of outstanding, that will be credited to the receipts and payments account. You are receiving some cash, you are not bothered whether the amount you are receiving is in advance or whether the amount received is nothing but an arrears, that will be debited to the receipts and payments account. For example, we will see this with an example. So these are the two important concepts which you have to bear in mind while preparing a receipts and payments account. So to take it with an example, subscriptions. This again we will discuss while we are discussing the next financial statement, which is nothing but income and expenditure account. So in this subscription, say for example, you have received 10 lakhs. This is the amount of subscription money received during current financial year. So during current financial year, a 10 lakhs amount has been received. Just we will try to see the breakup of this 10 lakhs. This 10 lakhs comprises of current year, current financial year, say 6 lakhs. Of this 10 lakhs, 6 lakhs pertains to the current financial year. Next, 3 lakhs pertains to the previous financial year. And remaining 1 lakh is nothing but next financial year. So I can call this as an advance. So if I divide this 10 lakhs into 3 components, 6 lakhs is the current financial year, 3 lakhs related to the previous financial year. That means last year you are supposed to receive 3 lakhs, but that amount has not been received. Income accrued but not received. So now you are receiving that. And 1 lakh is nothing but an advance. So here this 10 lakhs comprises of 3 items, 3 different years, 3 different accounting periods. Now what is our second key takeaway? Income received during the current financial year, irrespective of the year to which that relates to. Here is 10 lakhs. If I divide the breakup, that relates to 3 different years. But by basing on the second key takeaway, what I will do? I will debit this entire 10 lakhs to my receipts and payments account. Because what my second key takeaway says? It says that whatever the amount you are receiving, you have to account that in the receipts and payments account. That's what is the analysis of this. Now we will also take up an example for the payments as well, and we will take up a performer of how to prepare the receipts and payments account. Then we will take a example problem and we will see how to prepare recent payments account. After that, we will proceed further to the next finance statement, which is nothing but income and expenditure. So, as we have understood how to debit, what amount to debit to the recent payments account, now we will also see an example of payment side. Payment to creditor. We have purchased some raw material on credit basis, for which we are supposed to make a repayment to the creditor. Now, you have paid 5 lakhs to the creditor during current financial year. So, in the current financial year, 5 lakhs has been paid to the creditor. Now, we will see the breakup of this. Of the 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs 50,000 relates to current financial year. 1 lakh relates to previous financial year. 50,000 advance. Prepaid expenditure. So the 5 lakh breakup is this. What is the second key type we are taking? Telling entire expenditure paid during the current financial year, irrespective to the period to which it relates. If I look at this 5 lakhs, this 5 lakhs rates includes the payment for the 3 different accounting periods. But basing on my second key type way, what I will do? I will credit this entire 5 lakhs because this entire 5 lakhs is the amount paid during the current financial year. That's what is the summary of this. Now, what we will do is, we will take up a pro forma and we will see how to prepare receipts and payments account. Say for example, you are asked to prepare a receipts and payments account of a club. How to prepare this? So basically this is the pro forma. Particulars same as a cash book. There is nothing different except the name is different. Okay? Receipts here, amount here, payments, amount. So these are the 4 columns which you are supposed to prepare. Now, cash book, what you do? 2 balance brought down. That's what is the first thing which I am starting with, recent payments account. 2 balance brought down. This includes both cash balance and bank balance. So balance brought down, say cash, bank. Say the club is having a cash balance of 1 lakh. The club is having a bank balance of 2 lakhs. That's what is the opening. Now, we all know that debit or receipts. What sort of receipts the club can have? 2 subscriptions. Because you have to pay certain subscriptions to join the club. You have to pay certain sort of entrance fees to join the club. So subscriptions will be there, entrance fees will be there, entrance fee will be there, and even the club may be accepting some sort of donations, even the donations will be there. Whatever the receipts which the club is having, all the receipts, whether it is capital or revenue, that will be debited to the recent payments account. Say subscriptions, for example, for the time being, we will assume this as 7 lakhs. Entrance fees, say the club is collecting 5 lakhs. The club has received a donations of 2 lakhs. So that's what is the receipt side. Coming to payment side, we know that what are the payments made during the current financial year must be credited, even as a capital, even as a revenue. Say the club is purchasing some fixed asset. Say it is a sports club, so it's purchasing some sports equipment. So buy sports equipment amounting to say 5 lakhs. So that's the cost of the sports equipment which the club has purchased. Buy salaries. The club has some staff for which the club is making payment of salaries, which is nothing but 2 lakhs. Say the club is purchasing some sort of raw materials, some sort of spare parts which are to be used in the club. By materials, it is purchasing. Say that is amounting to 3 lakhs. You might be having other expenses, say rent, electricity, any other expenses. Whatever the expenses which is incurred by the club will be debited. So automatically at the end of the period you will be again having by balance carried down. So if you are having cash balance and along with that you are having a bank balance. Now if I make a total of this, how much? 10, 15, 17 lakhs. 17 lakhs minus 10 lakhs, 7 lakhs. Say you are having a cash balance of 2 lakhs. Then automatically the balance and figure will be the bank, which is nothing but what? 5 lakhs. Which is nothing but 5 lakhs. So this gives a basic pro forma of receipts and payments account. Okay? That's it. Now what we'll do is we'll take a small problem, small example practice problem, so that you can get a hands-free comfort on receipts and payments account. After this, we'll proceed to the next financial statement, which is nothing but income and expenditure account. Okay. So look at the first problem. First basic example problem is the receipts and payments for a cricket club for the year ended 31st December were as follows. Entrance fee is there, membership fee is there, donation for club pavilion is there, foodstuff sale is there. So these are all the basic revenues, basic receipts of a cricket club. We know the first fundamental, any sort of receipt, whether capital or revenue, debit that to the receipts side. Now coming to the payment side, salaries and wages 12,000, purchase of foodstuff 8,000, construction of club pavilion. It's a purely capital expenditure. But what the first category says, revenue or capital, debit or credit to the receipts and payments account. Next, general expenses, rent and taxes, bank charges, etc. Cash in hand on 1st Jan 2000, 31st December 3,500, and cash in bank on 1st Jan 4,000, 31st December 5,900. Prepare receipts and payments account of the club. This is a purely a basic fundamental problem. Thereby you can get a clear experience, clear knowledge of how to prepare a basic receipts and payments account. Okay. To get started, the pro forma is already there. So what we'll do is, in the same pro forma, we'll try to fill out the details given in the example problem. First is what? To balance brought down. It is clearly mentioned in the problem that cash in hand is there, cash in bank is there. So the easy way to do non-trading and single entry and any problem is just go as per the order of the problem, so that we will be having a complete control of the problem. No element in the problem will be missed, and we can have a proper hold on this, so that we can complete that in a quick time and we can complete that in a accuracy. So first what we will do, as we have read the question, we know that balance brought down, cash is there, bank is there. So first item what I will do is balance brought down, cash, bank. This both I will put. Amounts I will fill in the latter part. Okay. Now receipts and payments account for the cricket club for 31st December was entrance fee 3,000. Okay. Entrance fee 3,000. So it's nothing but a receipt. So what I will do? 2 entrance fees. 3,000. So that's the first item which I am putting in the receipts and payments account. Next is given membership fees 30,000. So immediately 2 membership fees. To become a member in a club, you are paying this membership fees. So automatically, even this is a receipt. So 30,000 is nothing but a amount which I need to debit in the receipts and payments account. Next is what? Donations for the club pavilion 1 lakh. 2 donations. So in order to construct a club, in order to construct a cricket pavilion, the club has received some sort of donations. So which is amounting to how much? which is amounting to 1 lakh. Next is what? Two foodstuff sales. The club is having certain sort of foodstuff. The club is selling that. So this is a receipt for that. To sale of foodstuff. Sale of foodstuff. How much? It is amounting to 12,000. That's what are the receipts which are given in the problem. So it is nothing but 12,000. 12,000 is the income. Next, salaries and wages. It is a payment which is to be made by the club. So by salaries and wages. Salaries and wages. Amounting to 12,000. So this being an expense, I am crediting to the receipts and payments account. Next is what? Purchase of foodstuff. You are purchasing some foodstuff here. You are selling the foodstuff here. Purchase is nothing but an expense. So buy purchase of foodstuff, which amounts to 8,000. Okay. Next, construction of club pavilion 1,10,000. This is a capital expenditure. We know that even a capital or revenue can be accounted in the recent payments account by construction of pavilion. $1,10,000. That's what is the construction cost. Again, by general expenses 6,000. That is an expenses by general expenses amounting to 6,000. So as this is an expenses, you will need to account this in the receipts and payments account. 6,000 is the general expenses. Next is what? Rent and taxes 4,000. Rent and taxes it is 4,000 by rent and taxes 4,000. So that is the rental expenses which the club is making payment. Bank charges is also having some bank charges amounting to 1,600 by bank charges amounting to 1,600. That's it. Now next is what? Cash in hand on 1st Jan, which is nothing but opening balance amounting to 2,000. So where I need to put it? Here. As it is the opening balance, I have to put it here. Opening balance of cash 2,000. Next is what? 31st December 3,500. This is nothing but a closing balance. So what I will do here? By balance carrying on. Cash. How much is given? It is given as 3,500. So I will mention it as 3,500. That's what is the amount of cash balance which you are having. So 3,500 is the cash balance. So I need to consider it as 3,500. Next, cash in bank on 1st January. This is nothing but opening balance which is amounting to 4,000. So bank 4,000 is the balance. Now closing balance 5,900. So 5,900 is the closing balance of bank. 5,900. That's it. As every information is given, so your debit total and credit total will definitely tally. If you don't know the closing balance of cash or bank, then you can get that as a balance figure. As we know everything, so automatically the debit total will be 1,51,000. 1,51,000 is the debit total, and the same thing should be your credit total. 1,51,000. So that's what is the basis for preparation of receipts and payments. Okay. Now we will go to the next financial statements, income and expenditure. Then what we will do? Then we will take a sample problem, example problem of preparation of income and expenditure. There we will try to do receipts and payments account as well as income and expenditure. After that we will proceed to the next financial statement, which is nothing but a balance sheet. Okay. As we know, there are three financial statements. One is receipts and payments account. Number two, income and expenditure. Number three, balance sheet. So first thing we know, we have a clear idea of how to prepare receipts and payments account. Now we will proceed further to know how to calculate income and expenditure.